Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 9. Tonight we have the Demacia bracket and playoffs here. That pressure taking on Madison Esports, Cottage Cheese carrying on the dairy theme that so many of the Madison Esports teams have. I am True to Vega. I will be your play-by-play caster tonight. I am joined by the lovely MXL holding down the color casting position as well as doing production. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Hopefully everything holds up well on my end. Tonight I've been having a few technical issues, but as of right now, everything looking good, and I'm very excited to see what happens in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that Madison Esports Cottage Cheese are the 4th seed. That pressure a bit lower on the bracket at 7th, but this is, I do believe, Style runs on a true double elimination system. So even if either team loses out in this match, they have the opportunity to climb out and make it all the way to finals. But this still is very early on in our playoff run. I believe this is still round 1 of it all. Just waiting for the teams to get into their pro draft here. But otherwise, since you've had the opportunity to take a look at some of these players, do you expect any, spicy picks, anything interesting from either of these teams?
The big things that come to the foreground, Indian Frog in the top lane for Madison Esports. That's a lot of Darius, like a ridiculous amount of Darius. I'm expecting that that's not going to be let through, or that there's some like spicy counter pick that Squizzy has ready for a response. Again, some more fun picks I could potentially see. I'm looking at the Rengar. We already see that taken off the table. Hyphen not going to be allowed to pick that up. By far is most played jungler, so not too surprised to see that. Squizzy as well, known for the Jax, so again, wouldn't be too surprised to see that taken away as it is taken off the table.
Mm-hmm. So, really just trying to attack a lot of the comfort picks available so far, reflecting in the bans. Get headed into this first game here. Seraphine taken off the board. I think at this point on in the season, a lot of people have some pretty choice feelings about Seraphine. Most of them are negative. Encore as an ultimate is really, really annoying to play against. Like, just her ultimate alone, super, super frustrating. So I don't mind that you see a ban on Seraphine. Normally I do see it banned on red side if both supports can play it. But, a lot of support focus coming in from that pressure.
This is what I was going to mention as well. Leona, a very comfortable pick for DM Looter. Would not be too surprised. The most played support is Senna. The win rate doesn't necessarily look too great, but could see that come out. Could see my favorite champ in the Morgana. There's also a Zyra thrown in there. It's a little spicy to see either the Morg, Zyra, or Senna right now. Would mostly expect to see like a Braum or a Nautilus come out from the support role, but the Gangplank, I was going to mention this. Squizzy mostly plays only Jackson Gangplank. I'm assuming that misban is just the Gangplank ban. And yeah, It's going to lead to the Nami first pick here. So a very, very strong support right now.
Yeah, Nami just super versatile in that support role. She can she's a bit of a do-everything support, right? She can engage, disengage, buff, debuff, heal, shield if she has a Summonary or Guardian. So where Nami is in the meta, I think that makes a great deal of sense, just because it's something that's super safe. There's not a ton of picks that can be picked to counter it, but hey, Braum is one of those theoretical counters, and that is what MECC lock in there. Normally when I've played that matchup, I feel like it's just using Stand Behind Me and then Unbreakable to just block the Nami wave is just huge.
Yeah. You can block the wave. I'm pretty sure you can block the bubble as well, and it will only knock up the Braum. So a lot of fun interactions that can happen with that Unbreakable shield. Interested to see what the pairing with it will be. I'm assuming that's not going to be a Nocturne. It looks like that was the classic pro draft timeout, but we will have to see. Lucian currently being hovered. I'm interested to see if that's going to be locked in, or what the decision around the Nocturne pick will be. There's no word on the Nocturne, so maybe it is actually going to be officially locked in here.
Yeah, I mean, Lucian Braum is a classic pairing, so I wouldn't have been surprised if MECC said, hey, this was actually our pick. But the timer does run out, and that means that pressure, they will lock in that super strong bot lane between Lucian and Nami, able to get so much priority, as I think everyone has seen, both across the professional scene of League of Legends, but also, within the amateur circuit. It is a very, very straightforward combo. It has a ton of damage early, and yeah, super, super hard to play against, especially with Lucian's changes. Ooh, Echo.
All right. I am always excited to see an Echo pick. Technically can still be flexed to the mid lane, but did a few patches back get some buffs to his jungle clear. It feels insanely good. Granted, his gank potential is not necessarily the best. You have to use that parallel convergence, set up the stun for yourself. Could look to set it up with Nami here, but it definitely can be rough if he doesn't get off the ground. But with that early clear, early scuttle contest could happen. Twitch Braum is going to be the response to Lucian Nami, and that concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely jazzed about that as well. Speaking from my own personal experience as a support main, when you have something like Braum that can functionally counter a Nami, both early and in team fights, you want to pair it with something aggressive. Lucian is one of those picks, but MECC, they didn't lock it in, and Twitch is a scaling ADC. You really want to survive the laning phase, transition forward, and hit your critical item spike. So I think that's a bit of a almost anti-synergy in that respect.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with you. The other thing I'm looking at is the Darius was still available for Indian Frog, something that this player is very clearly comfortable on. I almost would have liked to see that picked up in the third slot, because I don't necessarily think you're going to be drawing a Twitch ban at this stage in the draft. And then you could just ban out 2 counter picks to the Darius, make sure that you're getting yourself in a very favorable topside matchup, and try to play heavy through that lane. Right now, though, you're probably going to end up having to blind the top laner, and it's not going to feel as great with arguably Indian Frog's most comfortable champ off the table.
Yeah, and like the bans in general really reflect a lot of attention heading towards that top lane. MECC looks like go. Hey, that's a Karma. I'm assuming that would just go mid. It can slot in.
I've played Karma top recently, so I'm gonna withhold judgment. There is also the argument of Nocturne being a potential solo laner as well, so technically these 2 champions can flex to both top and mid. Vex being hovered, and I would love to see this. It's a little worrisome against Twitch, but does so well against the rest of Madison Esports composition.
Yeah, I mean, like Vex capable of punishing mobility. Granted, there's not a whole ton of it that Madison Esports have drafted for themselves at the moment, but what Vex does have in spades is just burst. Marketed as an artillery mage, but honestly, those team fight resets can get absolutely insane. And ooh, a blind Aurelia lock potentially here. That's a statement.
You mentioned resets, and Aurelia is one of the champs known for it. Her Eternal is literally how many Q resets she gets. It's nuts. I tried to make a connection. It's fine. We'll see. I'm interested to see what the lane matchup will be. And Urgot gonna be hovered, gonna be locked in. So this should lock in the Karma to the mid lane, Nocturne to the jungle as well. I'm very excited for any Urgot pick I see in a game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Urgot went from, like, after his rework, right?
Yeah.
He went from a champion that everyone was like, man, this champion's so boring, he has such a weird play style, to, oh, this champion looks so scary. And when you get that team fight fear, the big AoE can completely control the pace of how a fight breaks out. We are here into that champ select proper, but now that we've had the opportunity to take a look at what these drafts are, is there anything that stands out to you as, man, this should be the winning team?
I mean, the big thing that I'm looking at right now is the side of that pressures comp just has so much team fight potential. I'm looking at Vex. You get the Shadow Surge personal space combination that is so devastating. Leads into the Mistral Bolt. You get a really, really big one shot coming out onto generally like 2 or 3 members, and it's still a relatively squishy composition with Twitch Karma, right? But you look at that, you have that combo, you have the Vanguard's Edge from Aurelia, you have Nami Wave, you have Lucian being able to just pump out damage over the course of a team fight as well. And it just seems designed to be this really, really heavy mid-game spiking team fight composition. Madison Esports, you mentioned earlier, this is a very big sign of a Twitch carry game. You are looking to scale late, you are looking for this Twitch to get really, really strong in the later stages, jump out from stealth, and just one-shot somebody. I'm interested to see if it's going to work, but the issue I have is you're playing against Nami, who's squishy herself, but ebb and flow is a decent amount of healing. Lucian can dash out, can generally play pretty safe. Echo has an R, Vex has a W, Aurelia has a W, and it's so much damage reduction, damage mitigation coming out, that it's going to really be hard, I think, for Blaze 1209 to get into these fights as well as he wants to with these Twitch flanks.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. When you have so many champions that can dogpile on a primary target, that primary target, you know, you need the tools to stay alive. But that being said, I think Madison Esports, they did draft things that can potentially help, right? We've already talked about the Braum using Unbreakable to stop up a Nami wave. But this is also a game where you have a Karma mid, right? And that's a Karma who loves to get AP. You're going to have a very strong shield because you have a better economy in the early game. And maybe that's something that can prop up that Twitch pick. But I think one thing that does stand out as an X factor to me is this Nocturne pick here for Hyphen. And I don't know about you, MXL, but I hate playing against Nocturne. It doesn't matter where the meta of the game is. I hate it when he just ults and the lights go out and I can't see anything, and it is one of the most painful experiences in League of Legends. So I am very interested to see how that particular pick will shape up.
Yeah, and it does have some decent synergy when you look to pair it with something like the Braum, who, if you land that Winter's Bite, Concussive Blow stacking is really easy when Nocturne gets a point-and-click, just I'm on top of you now button. So definitely could look to see some synergy coming out there. I think it can be rough to deal with, but again, I'm looking at the same issues that Twitch is going to face, where it's really, really hard to stick to whoever he's trying to hit unless it's going to be this Nami. And even if TG Myth goes down, I feel like that pressure just has a little bit of a team fight composition edge in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I am absolutely inclined to agree with you. But as far as, you know, specific lane matchups go, is there anything that you think like, oh yeah, this should be a super hard matchup, or if, you know, one champion gets out of control here, this can completely dominate the game? Is there anything like that stands out to you?
Yeah, so this might be some solo queue bias coming in. I've been playing a little too much top lane recently. Urgot is one of those champions that if he gets ahead, it is so difficult to keep him down any point later in the game. And I think Aurelia, while she can do that Blade Surge everywhere, get all the resets, get 4 stacks now, and just start like trying to pump out damage, trying to skirmish with Urgot, if Indian Frog is able to get ahead, Squizzy's not going to have a fun time in this matchup. And it's something that I still think is slightly Urgot favored just because of the range advantage, just because of the shotgun knees. There's so much damage this champion does early, and if he gets ahead, he is so tanky with the current build for him that it is incredibly difficult to shut him down later.
Well, I mean, I believe the consensus is that the both of us do like the comp that Pressure have drafted for themselves. Probably because we've seen, you know, so much of it in professional or solo queue play at this point. But that does not mean that Madison Esports doesn't have answers headed into this first game. But if I had to put my money where my mouth is, I would personally probably say that Pressure's comp is far more appealing to me. I don't know about you, though. Do you think that either team will just completely win out in this first game?
Compositionally, I agree with you. I think that Pressure has a more cohesive identity as a comp. But I do think just some slight player differentials on the Madison Esports side do give them a little bit of an advantage here, especially if you're looking at the top half. Indian Frog gonna look to put on the carry pants this time around, and
Hmm.
if he takes over a game, or if he's gonna take over a game, it's gonna be this one.
Well, you have heard it there for you folks, and we are just waiting for that spectator delay to tick down in just over 1 minute. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number one of that pressure versus Madison Esports Cottage Cheese. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, arcane enjoyers of all ages, to Style Esports Season 9 here in the Demacia bracket of playoffs. Tonight, we do have that pressure versus Madison Esports Cottage Cheese. Game number one coming in. Both teams playing it safe, going for that standard 5 point. But that does give us the opportunity to talk about, some rune choices. Once more, I am Trudabega, joined by MXL, holding down color for tonight. And I think we did see a few interesting things, starting off with the Vex. rune choice wise, right?
Yeah, so, oh wow, I actually started tier as well. So, running the Phase Rush, not something that I've seen too frequently on Vex. I'm used to seeing the Electrocute or Dark Harvest builds. You're going all in on the hit one person with your R, one shot them, get a reset, look to do it again. But this time around, looking for a little more survivability, it seems, in the lane. Mostly looking against the Nocturne, I'd assume, with that Phase Rush, and the tier to me signals a little bit of scaling, so not entirely against it, just wasn't expecting to see it this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I am right there with you. Normally, when I see Vex, like they just go for something like super dominant in terms of rune setup. But I think the other thing that is probably most significant, at least keystone wise, worth pointing out, is that TG Myth on this Nami electing to go for the bit of a safer choice with the summon area as opposed to the electrocute that everybody is a little bit more used to seeing nowadays. But otherwise, everything seems standards. Got some biscuit enjoyers on both teams here.
Oh,
Ooh, wait. Gray Z dashed forward, eats the stun from the concussive blows, but he's getting very low. One more auto might do him in. And yeah, by the graces of TG Myth having to flash forward, get that ebb and flow healing down. And yeah, Lucian Nami is aggressive, but I don't think you want to be that aggressive.
I actually really liked that aggressive play. I think they had a window to look for something, but it didn't seem like it was communicated within the 2v2. Grazo just looking forward
Ooh.
again, though.
Yeah, Gray is getting very low. The stun goes through. First
That's
blood
big.
picked up for Blaze, and now he is going to get the second stun proc onto TG Myth. The poison is ticking down. TG tries to get the healing, tries to get the ability to stay alive. Nope, not going to happen. Blaze gets to 2 kills, but here comes I Love Ali trying to get something back. He does kill Blaze, but is he going to look for the dive? Yes, he does. Under the turret, eats 1 tower shot, 2, and that'll be a kill. 3 for 2 overall in the kills here. And, you know, I would say if you are the side of Madison Esports, you like that.
Yeah, I will say, 2 kills on a Twitch in the early game will always feel good. Mid-side, though, Hypen's looking.
Oh, we do have a gank coming in. As you said, Hyphen does go forward. Will he get the proc with the fear? Yes, he does. Under the turret, but able to walk it out just easy. Didn't even have to commit the summoner. And also got Golem Guy Galaxy's flash out of it in addition. So, Madison Esports off to a very strong start in this series.
Yeah, Golem Guy Galaxy just not respecting the Karma Tether, walking in, still holding the flash for a little too long, does get punished as a result. Do want to touch back on the bot side play though. 2 kills to Twitch always feels good in the early game, but Echo getting 2 kills could make it a little trickier for this AD carry to stay alive in the later stages. He's looking mid
Oh,
though.
we do have a phase dive coming in. Does force the flash out of Smek, but Karma does stay alive. Oh, but it's okay.
Whoa.
That was very close. Smek playing it aggressively actually walked forward into Golem Guy Galaxy's abilities. Oh, I Love Ali still
This
over on the side here. No, he's not going to look forward. He can't go for another tower dive this early, but down in the bottom lane. Gray did try to go forward again, but I do got to say DM Looter has been very on point, throwing up the Unbreakables to stop up a lot of this damage from the Lucian.
Yeah, really negating a lot of this 2v2 prowess, but doesn't
Oh,
matter.
they are
Gray.
getting aggressive once again. The Echo is looking for the dive. Will the Twitch go down? Yes, nice shutdown and another kill into the jungler's pocket there on the side of that pressure. And as you said, this Echo is starting to mount up 3 kills in his pocket early on. And you know what looked like a really strong gold lead for the side of Madison Esports is now completely evaporated and it's all evened up.
Yeah, so as much as those early kills going to Twitch felt pretty nice, Echo making sure to commit bot side, get those 2 kills early, does now enable this champion to get that Hextech alternator, get back into the bottom lane, respond to the over-aggressive 2v2 from MECC, and as a result, he comes out with a 3rd kill now, so that, like you mentioned, evens up the gold differential and puts this Echo in an even more favorable spot.
Oh, we do have a little bit of a 1v1 going on here in the top lane. Squizzy goes forward, does stack up that passive fully, and I would say definitely won the trade versus Indian Frog there. I mean, that's also part of the reason why I personally just don't like playing against Aurelia. It feels like you can you can do things right, and then she just stacks up her passive and starts winning.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Indian Frog did miss the disdain, which I think would have
That's true.
added in a little bit of a shield, added in a little more damage, would have helped out in that trade. But um, with both top laners taking to level 6, I'm assuming we're going to see resets coming out shortly. Urgot really wants to get to that Tiamat, start getting towards that Titanic Hydra, because at that point, the damage output on this champion is absolutely insane.
Yeah, absolutely. But, everything is all evened up here. Just 4 kills on the map. No one has really been hitting the turrets. And I would say overall that farm feels pretty even. Although you do see some slight advantages in the mid and bot side for the side of that pressure. But it is Cloud Drake on the map at the moment. Like, that does give something for teams to play towards. So do you think that they should be, looking for those stacking Drakes, either team?
Uh, it's weird to say, but
Oh,
Paranoia
wait,
top.
that's right in the top lane.
Oh.
Squizzy does go forward, is able to secure that solo kill, takes out Indian Frog, even gets the flash out of it. But Hyphen was there using the ultimate to just completely gap close, trade the kill back. And yeah, once again, just a 1-for-1 kill. Ooh, TP is coming in though from Indian Frog here. Hyphen does dodge away from the stun, and the Urgot has arrived. The TP has gone through. There's going to be the chrono break back in, and Echo, will he be able to get the kill? Yes, he does. That's a shutdown. That gets more gold for I Love Ali on this pick. 300 gold bounty now.
Yeah, a little unfortunate, a little over
Or
aggressive
they
from
looking for
Hyphen.
this?
There's no way.
No way. Okay, yeah. it looked a bit hairy.
Ooh, Dark Harvest stack though for I Love Ali on the Echo, so getting a little more of that scaling going. But yeah, I think that top lane fight, you got the kill onto Aurelia early, it felt pretty nice. Granted, you do lose the Urgot. The Fear Beyond Death did end up going wide. The flash was just a little too late. So Squizzy takes that almost all day long. Then Indian Frog teleports back thinking, all right, we have the window to kill the Echo. Ends up losing so much health and now is sitting in a very rough spot in this lane. Does have the Tiamat, so damage is starting to come online, but it doesn't feel like it's enough yet.
Aqua Person does land there onto Blaze in the bot lane, but through the good graces of the Unbreakable, they are able to just completely deny the damage and trade the kill back. Spray and pray. You got to be careful about that. You can technically dodge away from those auto attacks, but you have to have insanely high movement speed, which Gray does not have.
I mean, you could also dash, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, it's a weird timing, to say the least. To go back to your question from like 3 minutes ago, though, of the Drake stacking, I do think with this this early Cloud Drake, if you are on the side of MECC, you want that on your Urgot, on the Nocturne, get that ultimate uptime just even more ridiculous than it already is. That pressure doesn't necessarily need it for themselves with the denial.
Paranoia coming into the mid lane here, though. Hyphen does force out Golem Guy Galaxy's flash one more time. Yeah, this Vex not having a great time so far.
Yeah.
Has had to flash 2 times within 10 minutes already. Oh, there in the top lane, though. Squizzy does finally get hit up by that Disdain, eating a whole ton of damage. Throws down the Blade Surge, or keeps getting resets on Blade Surge, rather, and is able to just get that solo kill. Vanguard's Edge has a surprising chunk of damage to it, and I don't think Indian Frog accounted for that.
Yeah, and part of it as well was just a beautiful Blade Surge from Squizzy to dodge out from the Fear Beyond Death once again. We saw that interaction happen earlier in the top lane, and just a straight up outplay coming out from this Aurelia, doing so much work in the early stage of this game. They know this Echo's down here bot side. Paranoia is not quite available yet, but I'm interested to see. It looks like they're looking for some sort of a force regardless.
I mean, it definitely looked that way, although you do see Hyphen and Smack walk away, and now it's actually I Love Ali, who is sitting in the lane brushes. They might be looking for a setup, as you said, but doesn't look like Blaze and DM Looter are going to bite on that. But that does give them prio towards this dragon at the very least.
Yeah, and actually Lucian walking in for a deep
Ooh.
ward at the moment.
Parallel convergence forces the stun. Knock up with the tidal wave, and DM Looter getting very,
Exhaust.
very low. Throws down the glacial fissure, but there is the chrono break back in. I love Ali all in, trying to look for more kills. They don't get it, and it's TG Myth who ends up going down. Huge shutdown for Smek as the fight keeps going. Golem Guy Galaxy able to finish off Hyphen as Blaze and Smek are the only ones alive. There's the recast on that Vex ultimate, and they're trying to look for more. They force the flash out of Gray, but I don't think anyone can keep getting aggressive here. No TPs available on either of the top laners, so it looks like the mid and the AD carries of both teams are just trying to hold it down. But there is the root. Smek going forward. Blaze is in stealth, has the movement speed, gets the auto attacks in, but can Gray trade it back? He has his passive on, but that was a huge mantra
Whoa.
Q, and the Arcane Comet will secure the kill for Smek.
A beautiful, beautiful, just punish, I guess, on the overstay from the side of that pressure. A very, very, very big pickup to go over to this Karma mid as well. Now does have the Ludens completed and will be dealing so much damage. Blaze getting the reset now as well. Should be fairly close to what looks like a Blade of the Ruined King for themselves, as that is picked up. So many huge power spikes right now for MECC, and this should, if I'd expect to see them look to play towards this dragon with all these item advantages right now. Mythic done for the Nocturne, has the Stride Breaker. We already mentioned the other two, and these are the three massive characters you need to have these power spikes on for a potential Drake fight.
Yeah, gold going on to the targets you want it on. Probably the one exception of that is Indian Frog suffering there in his 1v1 in the top lane. But unfortunately, the Dragon hasn't been started up. Didn't look like they found the proper opportunity to start it. But as you said, Blaze looking for something aggressive, does have that Bork, steals the movement speed. TG Myth can't survive. They are going to use the Glacial Fissure. Gray is trying to run for the hills as Blaze is in the ambush, and he can't find the additional auto attacks. But look at that poison ticking down. And that was what, 2 auto attacks to take 50% of his health. But here in the mid lane, I Love Ali does come in with the parallel conversion, but there is the counter gank with the paranoia. Can the Nocturne find something? Vex trying to get away. There's the re-engage with the phase dive in to the chrono break. I Love Ali stays alive, able to keep his mid laner alive. In addition to that, no one goes down there in the mid lane, but they will pop the Rift Herald, should get at least 2 plates. Oh, Hyphen in a bit of an awkward spot. Phase dive and hit the tower instead! And that is really, really bad. Golem Guy Galaxy so low, and here comes his team's bot lane. Shutdown does go into I Love Ali's pocket, but at what cost? Blaze pops the spray and pray and takes out the jungler of that pressure, and that should give them a free way into that Cloud Drake.
Yeah, it feels a little late for this Cloud Drake, but Twitch now 7-2-2 for Blaze. Doing so much work on this AD carry. We also saw earlier on the Rift Herald was secured during a bot fight in the top lane.
In the top lane, Indian Frog getting so low, forced to walk away. Didn't even burn flash. You gotta think, like, was he just playing it really cool, or did he resign himself and just chose to walk it out?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in his shoes, I'm thinking there's no world in which I live this or outplay this. I'm a level down. Aurelia's already sitting on the board.
Oh
so
no, GG Myth, he is gonna eat the stun, and it's actually DM Looter that gets the kill. But this is what happens when you have a giga-fed Twitch this early on in the game and you are an Enchanter support. You cannot survive alone.
Yeah, and also opting into double Bando Glass Mirror seems a little rough around the edges. I think you end up losing on a lot of power from getting a full Mythic, but
but wait, there's a TP coming in. They want to try to go forward to finish off Gray, but this might be a huge mistake, as yes, it is. I Love Ali able to get the phase dive auto attack off. Huge shutdown, and the other kill goes into Gray's pocket. And they even committed Squizzy's TP in that bot lane there for it. And at this point in the game, that tower is just going to go down incredibly fast.
Yeah, and the big thing here is Squizzy did not have the
wait, engaged from Golem Guy Galaxy, did find a way in, but ends up having to walk off because Karma can just shield herself, stay relatively safe. But as you were saying,
yeah, so Squizzy had just taken the top lane tier 1 turret, so why not try to run bot side, get that one for yourself as well. Did commit the TP, I don't think got anything off of the 2 kills that were obtained, but still coming out with another turret, accelerating the gold lead for their team at the moment as well. So right now, looking pretty good for that pressure. Just about 1,000 gold ahead, 2 turrets ahead, and yeah, Twitch is strong, but Karma, because she's building AP, won't be excessively useful later on. Definitely more of an early to mid lane bully kind of pick. And Nocturne will be tricky to deal with, but you've already got the Urgot down. It's already going to be hard for him to get back in here. And if it's just Twitch, you've got 2 people who can dive on him pretty reliably. A third if you want to count Vex as well. So I'm not too worried about that pressure's chances going forward at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, something that you were saying even as far back as Champ Select really being reflected already is, for as fed as Twitch can get, if you have people just dogpile onto him, it doesn't really mean a whole ton. And we really just saw that in practice just now. So Blaze, he's got to be really, really careful, even with his Braum right next to him, because Braum can't keep you that safe. Oh, wait, that's an engage in the bot lane. Golden Guy Galaxy does go forward, but the Nocturne with the Paranoia is there. The Fear will proc, but you're so deep under tower, you have to walk away. And here comes Gray, uses his item to get forward there. And no, he won't finish off the kill. What's
Echoes
Gale
here.
Force? That's right. Oh, Echoes does go forward. Looks for the phase dive. Looks for something. Can he make his way on to Hyphen? No, he can't. But someone who's still alone is actually Blaze. He went into ambush and ended up backing in the alcove. So a lot of aggression happening just now in that bot lane, but no kills for it, which is kind of impressive considering how damage heavy both of these teams are.
Yeah, the Shadow Surge personal space was interrupted, it seemed, by, I didn't even quite tell what, but did result in the Twitch being feared a little later than ideal. And yeah, there's the bubble interaction we were talking about earlier, but the T1 now mid falls, and that's the entire tier 1 line cracked here for the side of that pressure. At 18.5 minutes, they have a ton of vision control topside. Looks like they're trying to play towards that Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that kind of pressure and you're able to push in so well, it makes a whole ton of sense to keep that pressure up. That being said, though, Dragon is coming up here in less than a minute. Will be an Inferno, which means we're going to have either a Mountain or an Ocean Soul. I'm not entirely sure how strong Ocean would be when, like, these comps kind of want to burst each other to a certain degree, but Mountain would be very nice for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think in terms of the compositions as a whole, Ocean's not necessarily the best soul you could see this time around. I think it's good on, like, Urgot, Nocturne, a little bit on Lucian, but everyone else, yeah, it's mostly looking for burst. It's mostly looking for just trying to survive against burst, not really looking for these extended fights. So interested to see what we're gonna get, but it looks like actually after all that Herald vision, we're gonna be playing for the second Drake. Both teams posturing for a fight. Indian Frog resetting has the TP. Squizzy on the way down as well.
Yeah, and they are trying to get this set up. Oh, here is that TP from Indian Frog. As you mentioned, Paranoia used. So has the Glacial Fissure. They're trying to find TG Myth, and they do. But look at how low iLevelE gets. Forced to use the Chrono Break to stay alive. Fear Beyond Death gets the fear. Gray flashes into the enemy team, trying to trade a kill back, but he can't. And iLevelE will drop. In addition to that, Golem Guy Galaxy forced to watch as the rest of his team gone down. They were able to take Blaze out, but that is a massive team fight win for the side of Madison Esports.
Yeah, and I'm a little confused as to why Myth was walking so far forward. It gave the window for the side of MECC to just collapse, destroy the Nami, make sure that any sort of sustain was not going to come through in the fight. Hyphen does end up following the flash as well, secures the kill. And we mentioned in the draft, Braum does pretty well into Nami, cancels out the wave, cancels out the disengage, and ends up canceling out that Pressure's team fight.
Aggressive TP in from Squizzy here, looking to kill Indian Frog. Gets the flash out. Whoa, DM Looter is here to keep his top laner
No
safe.
way.
Paranoia does go through, and there's the stun, there's the fear. And DM Looter comes away with the kill, but Indian Frog also stays alive. I love Ali, he is here, does look for the phase dive, looks for more, but he can't find anything else in addition to that. And that actually means it's just a kill on Aurelia. You got the flash and the TP out. Blaze, he does see where Gray is, pops the spray and pray, gets the auto attacks into the expunge, or contaminate rather, as it's called nowadays. And yeah, that is just another solo kill for Blaze here. And Madison Esports, it looked a little bit hairy, but they are starting to, wrestle control in this game back. They are still down 3 turrets, but they actually have a gold lead. Lone Guy Galaxy getting very, very low, trying to take a kill back onto Smek, flashes under the turret, and will get executed. Worth in all chat. You can almost see it. But yeah, Madison Esports, they are very happy with how the game state is going now.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how I feel about burning the flash to deny the kill gold. I agree. I think it's definitely good to deny that, but I'm interested to see if that flash being down will be punished here by MECC going forward, because Vex, while she can get in pretty reliably, getting out is a different story, especially if you don't have access to that summoner spell. Interested to see how that will play out going forward, but for right now, Blaze might be looking to get a little spicy once again.
No. I mean, I think it was pinged out on the minimap. It's like, hey, look, guys, Echo's here. And then Smek was like, that's cool, bro. I have like 20% health. Bye.
Yeah.
So Blaze just walks it out. But, there is a lot of standing gold here. Squizzy might be caught out, does have that fear tether on him, and it will proc. But Hyphen walked away, didn't want to get stunned up and give Aurelia way back in. But here is iLevel getting really aggressive. One more auto attack will proc the stun, and that's just another kill. Tidal Wave will get used. So there's the Paranoia, there's the dive. Hyphen going in, and he will stay alive. Stand behind me, giving those bonus resistances, and there's the Vanguard's Edge from Squizzy, trying to trade a kill back. Golem Guy Galaxy is there, but can they take the Braum out? The answer is no, and the fear beyond death will be coming in here soon. Absolutely not. Blaze is like, I want more. Gets another kill, 10 kills on this Twitch, and Madison Esports, they're making it look easy.
Yeah, again, just a little bit of an overstep, a little bit of an overstay coming out from that pressure, and very well punished by MECC. They end up taking the turret mid lane. They end up going to look for this Baron as well. And a very, very nice set of plays coming out from DM Looter. This Braum looking disgusting. Squizzy wanted to look for the fight, wanted to look to continue the engagement, ends up getting canceled. Oh yeah. Oh,
Lee's coming in.
They don't have a jungler.
Okay. Wait, there's
down.
the phase dive.
Oh,
he gets stolen! He phase dives in, gets the smite steal. Huge punish coming through from that pressure, and that's why you have got to be scared of doing Baron without your jungler. But there's the Paranoia. Will find its way onto Gray. They're able to trade back 2 kills, but boy, is it depressing to be doing Baron that entire time and then lose the objective to Echo just phase diving in and getting a smite off.
Yeah, there was potentially a window for iLevel Lead to use that ultimate try and escape as well. Didn't quite use it. Had a little bit of a Jensen moment for sure, but Shadow Surge top.
Indian Frog getting pretty low. Will probably die here, almost certainly. In fact, and Squizzy ends up using Vanguard's Edge, but it's actually Golem Guy Galaxy who gets the kill right before teammate's ultimate lands. And yeah, over aggression. I don't think they needed to force that, especially with Hyphen down there, because if the Nocturne is in that, I think that's just an easy smite secure.
Yeah, it was definitely close. I think there was a window. They were looking to try and just burst it out. They could have been able to secure regardless, turn the fight. Just a game of inches at that Baron, so ended up losing out as a result. Drake being started here, though, this would be the first one for that pressure. It looks like MECC is perfectly fine giving that one away. I definitely agree with that, especially after losing that Baron, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen going forward. Like, Gray at that Baron fight, just walking forward after, your jungler already stole Baron, there's no one else in the river, face checks the Twitch, and It's a super easy kill for Blaze, who's already doing so well on this Twitch. Getting even more gold in his pocket is going to be very daunting going forward.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at the inventories really quick, Blaze is roughly a full item ahead of Gray. Like this Twitch is very much activated, even though you're like 13 CS down. What's 13 CS in relation to a full
Oh,
item? Oh dear.
wow.
That looked like a mistake from Smek, if I've ever seen one.
No, that's what we call mental mind games.
Uh-huh.
You didn't need that ability to land.
Just baiting. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, wait. Golden Guy Galaxy forced to flash away. Indian Frog ends up using the Fear Beyond Death to force the slow, get the vision. And here comes I Love Ali. He's going to have to use his Chrono Break, but isn't able to do so because he gets stunned up. But the TP is getting channeled. Here comes Squizzy, and the fight continues to break out. Are they going to be able to secure Gray? Yes, they are. And now Blaze has arrived. Pops the spray and pray, gets the autos off, looks for the reset into the ambush, trying to hunt down the fish. And will he skewer himself some fish? They're looking for it. And Aqua Prison. Very well done from TG Myth to stay alive there. But yeah, you tried to stall out, and that gave Blaze time to come in. And this Twitch is completely massive and able to dictate fights all on his own.
And that whole time, Karma was just able to sit bot lane, chill out, not have to go into the fight. Squizzy teleports in, ends up falling, and everything right now is coming up in favor of MECC. They take the mid T2. They're looking to push into the T3. Shadow Surge, though.
Oh, Golem Guy Galaxy does use that Shadow Surge, throwing forward into the nice Aqua Prison, and that's a huge shutdown from I Love Ali. They will look for another Shadow Surge. Can they kill DM Looter? Yes, I believe they can. They want the resets for that Vex.
One more?
They want the and yeah, that will be another kill for I Love Ali, getting a huge influx of gold off of that. And the gold lead does get much smaller off of those 3 kills. And yeah, they just overstayed, I guess.
Yeah, a little over aggressive or over eager from Blaze. You don't want to be the one frontlining as Twitch, generally speaking, especially against something like the Vex. If that Shadow Surge hits onto the Braum, onto the Nocturne, it could have been a different fight. You might not have even had a fight break out, but because Blaze is the one tagged up, he will end up going down, and it leads to resets coming out for Golem Guy Galaxy and a very, very good fight, just overall for the side of that pressure.
Yeah, and, with that being said and done, towers all evened up, gold all evened up. And that pressure, it really looked like they were feeling the pressure, but now it looks like they found an opportunity. Blaze, yeah, I don't think you do. Like, you're 2 levels down. Yes, you're a very fed Twitch, but we've all seen in our Federelia, or even a not Federelia, just completely solo out 80 carries. Gotta be very careful.
Worth noting as well, Squizzy opting into the Gore Drinker build that we saw a lot before the Spite passive was removed. I think it's not as good as it used to be. Granted, it gives you some decent Omnivamp. I still would probably have preferred to see the Shield Bow build coming out when you're against so much burst. Granted, looks to be building into the Sterak, so that will still help out. Again, I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just like the squishier crit build. I think it's a little more fun. But yeah, it's just one thing to keep in mind going forward. And again, the active is still really strong if you're able to be in the middle of 3-4 people. So not necessarily a bad decision.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Also, big damage numbers are satisfying. Crits are huge. Nice to watch. But that being said, that is not what Squizzy elected to go. Although I do agree with your analysis about the builds overall. I do think, Shield Bow probably better overall in my mind. But the next objective that is coming up here on the Rift will be that Dragon. This would be sole point for this side of Madison Esports here. But it doesn't look like they're super well set up. TP actually coming in from Golden Guy Galaxy to give that pressure away to start setting up in towards this Dragon. But otherwise, it looks fairly standard. Oh my word. Gray and TG Myth got chunked out so hard by the Mantra Q there. And there's the engage. Oh my word, another steal from I Love Ali, but it will be Golem Guy Galaxy paying for it with his life. Squizzy in addition to that, and there's the Paranoia looking for TG Myth. They are going to get the kill. They want to secure it onto Gray, and it's only I Love Ali alive. Blaze going forward, has the movement speed, has the resets. Can he look for the Echo? Not quite, but that means the rest of the team will be pushing down the mid lane. They don't have a minion wave. Whoops.
Yeah, I was gonna mention, they take the fight. Sure, they lose the Drake, so that is going to be the second Mount Drake going over to that pressure, but midwave not quite available. They will be able to push into T3 now. Twitch, in the meantime, taking the tier 2 bot lane. So, regardless, they do lose the Drake, but get a massive influx of gold as a result. Looks to be 2 turrets and an inhibitor, but Echo
Blaze is getting chased down, forced to walk out here. Does have his Mob Malmortius shield popped. Still trying to walk it out, but I Love Ali, he might be getting caught out here. Parallel Convergence is not available quite yet, although he does have that Chrono Break. The rest of the team getting very, very pressured here. Nice Glacial Fissure to interrupt the Blade Surge from Squizzy, but the Echo is still there in the back, looking for the opportunity. I Love Ali able to actually cancel out the Fear Beyond Death, but the Echo is so incredibly low. There is the Shadow Surge. Golem Guy Galaxy looking forward. Paranoia is called in. And oh dear, Hyphen is coming in. And DM Looter able to get back over the wall with the stab behind me. They're looking for the stun. They're looking for the kills. Squizzy able to stay alive. Vanguard's Edge will be used. And the Nocturne is going to go down. And Blaze able to trade back the additional kill on TG Myth using the Spray and Pray. But this was a really, really messy fight from both teams. Ultimately, though, it is going to be that pressure that come away with the kill advantage. That is the most important thing.
I mean, the weirdest thing about that fight to me is it starts with I Love Ali jumping on to Blaze on the Twitch, going, oh, I'm Echo, I can just one-shot him, barely standing outside of the parallel convergence while in that stasis from the hourglass, so doesn't get the stun on Blaze. Blaze is able to live as a result, and somehow Blaze is the only one who lives as a result of that whole encounter. So just really, really, really scattered fight coming out from both sides, like you mentioned, but it still just seems slightly in favor of MECC. They lost the fight, sure, they get, you know, a little more gold in TP's pocket, but they're playing with their food a little bit, it feels like.
Yeah, to a certain degree, I definitely agree with you. Blaze already has a QSS in his inventory. That is a 117 MR. 80 carry. Paranoia will get used here. They're looking for Squizzy, but there is the tidal wave. Blaze does eat a fair bit of damage, but that's a huge Glacial Fissure to come through. Squizzy does go down, but what does it cost? I Love Ali does go forward, has to use the Chrono Break, but Fear Beyond Death as Indian Frog finally putting those carry pants on, able to get 2 kills for himself, takes out the enemy team bot lane, looking for more, is not gonna secure it, but I Love Ali, he has a massive shield from that parallel convergence, might be able to get one more kill here, and yes, he is. The poison is ticking down though, and that might just mean he dies in mid-air. That's gonna be the ace for Madison Esports. Cottage Cheese here. They have the minions and the death timers are long enough. I do believe that should be game 1.
Yeah, definitely feels like they are closing out the first game of the series. A little rough early on. Definitely had a few scattered or uncoordinated fights, but overall, once they got to that late game stage, very, very decisive team fighting. The objective control wasn't necessarily the greatest, but did have some good fighting later on, and they take the first game of this series.
Yeah, you can almost hear Indian Frog, who needs a mythic item. Didn't even finish it by 35 minutes in.
It's Urgot. I don't know. I can't blame him.
Yeah, you're right.
Mythics feel still really bad. Yeah, poor Urgot.
Yeah, that will be Madison Esports Cottage. She's coming out here with a game 1 victory, which means they just need one more to secure this match and go forward in playoffs. But that being said, you know, I think it's very clearly, you know, this Twitch got off the ground and he never got grounded afterwards. Yeah. So, you know, Madison Esports are going to look to close this series out in game 2, but that pressure, they might find a way back in and tie up the series. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. And welcome back, folks, to Style Esports Season 9 here in the Demacia playoff bracket. As we have Madison Esports Cottage Cheese get that for game number 1 victory against that pressure. The teams have swapped off, and we are into the pro draft for game number 2. Once more, I am True to Bega, joined by MXL. MXL, how are you feeling after that first game?
A little confused, I guess is how I'll phrase it. I think we both touched on it a little bit in the draft of last game as well. Seeing Twitch Braum get off the ground early is very, very rough when it gets ahead, and the fact that it was able to do so reliably, so easily, definitely is a point of concern, to the point where we both were discussing potentially looking at maybe a Twitch ban coming out from that pressure. They already are dropping one of the 2 support bans for a Karma ban, so definitely already looking to change it up.
Yeah, and I will say that that Smek there on the Karma, while not having like a ton of highlight plays, the full AP pen Karma was very, very significant as a zoning threat. And I also think this makes a great deal of sense, right? The paranoia was, once again, so annoying to play against. So I think those are really fair bans as far as adjustment is concerned. But this does open up the possibility for that Seraphine first pick. MECC, they look like they're considering it.
Seraphine and Leona both are available. They were banned away by that pressure last game. And I'm not sure if that's actually Braum first pick, but it might be. And if it is, pretty solid pickup. Especially...
Wait, don't do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to take Leona into Braum, I don't think. Doesn't sound like too much fun, like at all. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, that pressure, they're hovering it. Oh dear, they lock it in.
Oh boy, yeah. So, generally with Leona, Solar Flare is used as an engaged tool onto a character where you can get some like skill shots as follow-up, right? Okay, well, I like this adaptation then. But the concern when you're running against Braum is like, the big one that sticks out is Leona Misfortune as a pairing. Braum puts up shield, Misfortune R doesn't do anything now, right? So Kaisa at least circumvents that a little bit. She can reposition around wherever the shield ends up. So definitely like that little pivot. Granted, Kaisa right now I don't think is all that strong, so I'm interested to see how it's going to play out this time around. Echo is available though this time, and it will be going over to MECC. We saw I Love Aaliyah on the pick for that pressure last game do fairly well. Interested to see it on the other side of the rift.
Yeah, I mean, like whenever I see a team pick something that the other team played the previous game in a series, I feel like that's always a little bit of a gauntlet being thrown. Like, hey, I'm gonna take what you just lost on, and I'm gonna beat you with it. But that being said, you know, Braum Ash is a fair bit of setup as far as Echo is concerned, so there is that synergy there. And Ash is a pretty long range AD carry. Ooh.
All right.
Wukong.
Yeah, so it is now locked in. This was banned away by MECC last game, so this time around, Squizzy not going to be playing the Aurelia. Will be going on to the Wukong pickup. Ash Braum as well. I want to touch on this lane. Back in my day, I made a lot of AD carry and support. Found the role really fun. Interested to see how this lane plays out. It tends to be pretty low damage, but extremely high utility. You can still like get early kills, like level 2, level 3. If Braum ever lands a Q, Ash autos are guaranteed slows. You're going to get stunned up unless you flash early. And even later, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Glacial Fissure, you still have the stun potential coming out from this duo. They do need some damage to supplement it, a little more than what I think Karma did last time around from the mid lane. But definitely a very strong utility-focused bottom lane.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that front. Leona or Kaisa, if either of them ever get caught out of position, they will almost certainly need to be flashing away if Ash and Braum are there together. But, you know, something that is really interesting here is a blind Wukong pick. And honestly, I don't think that the top lane went super poorly for Squizzy in that previous game. I
Mhm.
think Squizzy did all right, and perhaps that Wukong can bring something dynamic. And when you look at this draft from that pressure so far, it does look a little wombo combo-y to me. So like, you have a lot of AoE CC, you have a few means of engage.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with you on that front. Nunu just gonna add to that front line, add to that engage potential as well.
Mhm.
And this champion's early ganking prowess is insane. The biggest snowball ever. Definitely gonna be a big thorn in the side of MECC's lanes. I'm interested to see how it plays out. A lot of top focus bans though, so getting rid of the Urgot Darius, two matchups that Wukong does tend to struggle against. I'm interested to see what the pickup's going to be, but it does leave
Ooh.
open another utility mid laner in the Zillion and potentially a Nasus coming out. I'm very excited if this gets locked in.
Nasus is something you just don't
Ooh,
see in competitive super often, and ooh, it does get locked.
yeah. All right. There is going to be one question that should be asked throughout this entire game, and it's going to be, what the dog doing? Indian Frog needs to be scaling, needs to be stacking in the early stages. Wukong, notoriously a strong lane bully. Graves locked in as well for what looks to be the mid lane, so into the Zillion. Really like having that mobility in that matchup. I'm interested to see. Technically, you can still flex Wukong mid, but like, don't. Um, we'll have to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. You can flex Wukong mid. I don't think that, Graves suddenly has a fun time in top lane though. Wither is devastating against that champion. Because you lower attack speed. Graves can only get 2 auto attacks in anyways, and yeah, not a fun time to be had. That being said, I gotta say that pressure's comp. Unless Nunu and Willemp go significantly into AP, or you have your Kaisa itemized for that as well, it is very, very physical damage focused.
Now, granted, into most compositions, if you're against something that is very squishy, your damage profile tends to not matter too significantly. Think if you're against 580 carries, it doesn't matter if you're a full AP team. They're 580 carries. They're not
Yeah.
going to be building resistances, or at least not enough to where it's going to be too relevant. This time around, Nasus. It's Nasus. That's going to be pretty rough to deal with if you are that full AD composition. Granted, a very good friend of mine like swears by, I think it's Comet WMAX AP Kaisa bot lane. So I guess technically you could go for like the AP hybrid build for the Kaisa. Definitely would like to see a Nashor's Tooth at some point just to, round out that magic damage profile on this champion. We'll have to see though. Nasus Zillion is a terrifying combination of champions to deal with, especially going later in the game. Point and click speed up, not fun. Point and click Nasus has 2 lives, also not fun. It's gonna be very, very hard, I think, for that pressure to shut down this Nasus in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, especially when you pop Fury of the Sands, right? You get your bonus health and your bonus resistances. Nasus becomes that much harder to fight because he's tankier. But he also I think his Q cooldown goes down to something like 1 second.
Yeah,
Like
I
it
think
is really hard to fight against the Nasus.
I'm pretty sure it has like 50% cooldown reduction as a result of you
Okay.
popping R. I
There you
forget
go.
what the exact implication is. All I can say is that yeah, for some reason Nasus does seem to have a very huge level 6 1v1 potential spike for a champion that is notoriously mid game focused or late game stacking focused, right? Where he wants to be split pushing, he wants to just get up to that 1,000 stack count that every Nasus dreams of. I'm interested to see if there's that level 6 potential, because Wukong is also a notoriously slippery champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because, there are circumstances where, Squizzy on this Wukong can look for a fight, and if you press clone at the right time, Indian Frog might actually just end up withering the clone. And yeah, that means that Wukong has free reign of the fights overall.
Yeah.
That being said, though, similar-ish comp from the side of Madison Esports Cottage Cheese here. Just because you have a jungler that has carry potential, you have a utility mid laner. Um, the bot lane not as hard carry
Yep.
as you mentioned. Ashe is, I think honestly the premier utility AD. But Ashe can also be a hyper carry in her own right in the late game, so it will be interesting to see how Blaze will pilot that pick. No way. You saw that swap, right? I Love
Oh,
Lee just swapped with Golem Guy Galaxy, and that is a really interesting move because when you're in biggest snowball ever as Nunu, you can't get slowed. That actually might be like really, really devastating for Smek in the mid. And oh, it is locked in. That's huge.
all
Well,
right.
off this new development, how are you feeling?
I actually, so you mentioned unless it's an AP Nunu, which generally speaking, mid lane Nunu will be going into an AP focused build. This is some tech that I have not seen in a while. It is extremely frustrating to deal with as a mid laner, for no reason other than he just kind of pushes a wave randomly, slinks back under his tower, waits for the W to come back up, pushes the wave again, and just kind of does that on repeat. Will shut down a lot of the potential neutralization that Zilean was looking to achieve. And now you also factor in side lane potential. I mentioned earlier, biggest snowball ever is very devastating in a side lane fight. Now throw some AP into the back of that, and it's even worse to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I believe biggest snowball ever has ultimate levels of damage and AP scaling as far as Nunu is concerned. One thing I do want to pick your brain for, though, do you think Golem Guy Galaxy goes something spicy like Predator and tries to just run to a side lane and smash that snowball in?
I'm interested to see one way or the other. Predator didn't get buffed directly, but as a result of the ingenious Hunter.
Hunter changes, yeah.
Yeah. I always forget the name. I normally call them like ingenious, ravenous, relentless, whatever. Anyway, it's definitely a stronger option. The big thing with Nunu though is you cannot change the snowball's like speed once it's already started channeling. You have to make sure that you pop it early. So if he just like is sitting mid lane, pops the Predator, and then uses a snowball in the side lane, yeah, there's a lot of potential for this Nunu to just like come barreling in at Mach 20, hit you with a snowball, and just demolish your health bar.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, you know, we have some interesting picks headed here into game 2 between MECC and that pressure. Will MECC be able to close the series out, or will that pressure utilize this Nunu to tie everything up? We'll see in a couple of minutes here as we wait out the spectator delay. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are getting into Madison Esports Cottage Cheese here versus that pressure. In game number one, Madison Esports, they were able to secure a victory after a fairly back and forth game overall. But that being said, if they can manage to win here, they close the series out and they advance to the next round. And that pressure would drop into the losers bracket. That pressure, they don't want to let that happen, and they want to tie it up, bring us to a game three. But with all that being said, I am True to Bega, joined once more by MXL. And MXL, you can see some really interesting rune choices here. So tell me about them.
Yeah, so while most of the runes, the keystone runes that I see, I'm a fan of, like Nasus running fleet makes sense to me. You're looking to sit back, scale in. Ash running lethal, a little less lane potential, but will scale just a little bit better. Nunu running the Dark Harvest. I definitely like this a little more than the Predator, even though Predator is by far more fun. Um, the big keystone that sticks out to me as being a little egregious, and I think we discussed this a little bit during the load, is the Graves running the fleet footwork. Generally, this champion is extremely safe, extremely healthy in his jungle clear. Would like to have seen a more damage-oriented rune choice there. And then there were some secondaries that concerned me. I'm looking at Echo running the Gathering Storm. Seems you're playing the scale a little bit too hard as this champion. I tend to prefer the free boots that you get from that one rune that I always forget the name of. Magical Footwear, now that I'm thinking about it a little more. And that mostly covers some of the rune decisions that I wasn't huge on. I actually really like Predator Echo, so for the same reasons we mentioned for the Predator Nunu in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, that be like with Predator just getting partially buffed off of those Genius Hunter changes. I agree with you. You can look for a number of avenues in for engage, and I think something that you said in the previous game, right, was that Echo does need a little bit of setup. He needs to find ways in. Oh, but this might be an early roam from Golem Guy Galaxy.
Yeah,
He's walking down
he
the
wants it.
river. He does have that biggest snowball ever channeled up, looking for a way in. Will it find its mark? It's headed towards Blaze. It's really, really big, and it does find its mark. Forces the flash out of Blaze, but Golem Guy Galaxy does go forward. Ignite ticking down, and that is going to be for the first blood for the mid laner of that pressure. That's why you got to be careful about an AP Nunu pick in the mid lane, man.
Oh, hey, and the thing happened topside. The Wither down onto the clone as well, so already some good signs coming out for that pressure in this early game. Yeah, I mean, this is the Nunu special. I mentioned he's probably looking to just dodge the lane, doesn't really want to do much into the Zillion, and this is very reminiscent of some Huhi Aurelian Soul stuff going on. The Wither top, though, Echo's here.
And as you said, Echo is here. There is the parallel convergence into the phase dive. Does not get the stun off. It forces Squissy's flash out, though, which gives Indian Frog, some breathing room, able to push the wave in. Probably not even going to have to TP out. Oh,
That's big.
nice double bomb into that stun there from Smack. But I Love Ali has shown up, throws down the smoke bomb, gets a slow off, and forces out the Zillion flash, which is a really nice move. Zillion is notoriously vulnerable before 6.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very mobile champion, so even post 6 it can be rough. Granted, that ultimate is one of the most disgusting things in the game. He'll just have a full second health bar at the level 6 point. But you do see Golem Guy Galaxy just doing the Nunu thing, push a snowball, try to push the wave, try to just roam around the map with the pressure you generate. That's why earlier that double bomb landing, making it so the snowball only hit the cannon, actually kind of a big deal. It denies a lot of what this Nunu pick is looking to do in the mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think one thing that we didn't think about here in this game is that when you have a Zillion mid, oh, wait, fight happening there, and the Predator does get popped. Golden Guy Galaxy does get pretty low. Don't think the Time Winder will be able to secure a kill, and absolutely not. That means Golden Guy Galaxy flashed out to stay safe, but as AP Nunu, you can just munch on a minion and you pretty much get back a lot of the health that you lose in a fight.
Yeah. And there's also one big interaction to take note of, and we did see it there in the mid side. It's a little niche, it's a little hard to spot, but Nunu cannot be slowed during the channel of his W, which results in that Zillion E just kind of being wasted if it's used during that, but bot side.
Potential fight here in the bot lane. DM Looter does throw out the Unbreakable
TPs.
into a triple stun from the parallel convergence. TG Myth getting very, very low after engaging with the Zenith Blade, but the TP has completed. Squizzy is here looking to take out Hyphen. He phase dives forward, able to secure the kill. Back on to TG Myth, but the cost is his own life, and that does mean that pressure has a way in to start up this first Infernal Drake. And yeah, this is also, I guess, something of a problem, so to speak, when you have a Nasus not able to TP into early fights at all.
Yeah, so Squizzy does burn the teleport to match that of the Zillion. Meanwhile, Nunu starting the path back up towards the top side, try to just keep this turret a little healthy. Snowball wave clear is disgusting. But, yeah, I mean, the big thing to take note of here, Indian Frog does get a little bit of quality time with the wave, something that Nasus will always appreciate. So, still coming out pretty okay for MECC. Not necessarily ideal by any stretch. They do lose the Drake, they lose a few kills, but definitely not out of it at any, like, in any facet right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say the one thing that I felt like, oh, that's
That's toxic.
cheeky. That's so. But yeah, as far as interactions are concerned, Smek is playing this Zillion here, and one thing that Zillion does have is his passive to give his teammates experience. Oh dear, Smek getting very, very low. Does he even have the ultimate? Yes, he does have the ult available to resurrect himself, but he doesn't have flash, and that might just be the kill for Golem Guy Galaxy. Channels off the full duration.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, wait, it's the return kill. Oh my word. Smek playing it cool. Is able to resurrect himself with the Chrono Shift, even eating an entire full channel of absolute zero. And he just tosses the bomb back, and cool guys don't look at explosions. He's able to just get out. But I do want to see one particular interaction, and that is let Zillion level up your jungler to get an XP advantage and get this Echo going, give him the levels. And, you know, some potential slight edge as far as combat is concerned. But I don't think it's happened quite yet. I haven't seen anyone get XP from Zillion. So kind of waiting on that in a personal sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interaction that can happen. It's not as weird as the old Zillion passive from way back in the day. 5% increased XP for everyone, right? But bot lane, potentially a fight. Snowball coming in.
Snowball ever does come here. Although DM Looter is able to stop it up. Parallel conversions does find a double stun, but there's the Zenith Blade going in. I Love Ali is going to be dying here, and now the Chrono Break is used. Additional stun onto TG Myth, but Leona is a very, very tanky champion. And the the next cast, biggest snowball ever, finds a double knockup, and they're able to secure Hyphen, although TG Myth getting very, very low. They're trying to get the kill back over, and Gray is eating a lot of auto attacks, but does have those double buffs available. Forced to flash out to safety, and the volley is gonna get it! Blaze! Man, with the fadeaway volley, taking a note out of his mid laner's book, is able to get those double buffs for himself on this Ashe, and they are able to trade back those kills. TP was finally used by Indian Frog. And there is the biggest snowball ever once again, will find its way back in, but the Wither is on. There's not too much mana, but the blue buff does a lot in that regard. Will Indian Frog be able to get it? No! As Golem Guy Galaxy is able to walk it out with practically zero health. And yeah, once again, gotta be careful of that Nunu.
Yeah, the big thing I want to point out though, Blaze and Gray both within an auto attack of death in that 1v1 outside of that tower range, and Gray flashing away, turning back, trying to find the Void Seeker, trying to secure the kill with the skill shot. Blaze doesn't care, also just uses the skill shot of their own and ends up coming out on top as a result. Graves does a lot of damage mid.
Yeah, and there is the parallel convergence getting used, but you do see the biggest snowball ever coming in here. Hyphen dashes away from it, ends up DM Looter ends up eating it, although there is the Glacial Fissure getting used, and now this Nunu is getting quite low. Will it secure
Oh
the
my
kill
gosh.
once again? Golem Guy Galaxy surviving by the skin of his teeth. You can barely see the green in that health bar. And yeah, that is a tilter, so to speak. You hate to see it when the enemy team player just survives barely, but this might be an avenue for aggression here in the bot lane. Blaze is able to proc his support stun. DM Looter is getting fairly low here, and yeah, there is the solar flare getting used, but Hyphen is arriving. But look at the map, eye level lead not far behind, and this might finally be Gray's opportunity. No, it isn't. And the collateral damage isn't even going to find its way onto Blaze. There in the top lane, though, Indian Frog getting aggressive, is eating a lot of damage from the Cyclone, as well as the Armor Shred. This might be an opportunity for the Wukong, but Squizzy flashes away and flashes out defensively. And the bot lane fight continues as iLevelly tried to find the kill onto Hyphen, but wasn't quite able to find it. Hyphen forced to flash out. And once again, just like the previous game, the kills are so close in this early game, and the gold is as well. Squizzy, ooh, didn't quite find the way to kill Indian Frog there.
Yeah, it's close. Looking for just a little bit more poke, but Nimbus Strike should be available shortly. Indian Frog might not want to stay under this tower.
Can't give up the stacks, man.
He's playing it safe.
Oh, that being said, there in the mid line, Golem Guy Galaxy getting very, very low stun. Will be proccing soon, and Smek does nab up the kill for himself. And it's just the old adage, what do you do when the enemy team has a roaming champion in one of their lanes? You attack that champion and punish it as hard as possible. Golem Guy Galaxy finally does get killed once more. Smek, though? Okay, yeah, he's just able to run himself out of there. You can see Gray is walking up. No, they're not really going to find anything off this, right? Yeah, they're out. Okay.
Well, yeah, and especially with the hog shot coming in.
Predator, parallel convergence. Will it find a stun? Yes, it does. Double stun. Gray forced to use the cleanse, but it doesn't mean anything. Smek now on a killing spree as DM Looter has shown to back up his mid laner once more. TG Myth, you're tanky, but you can't get out of this one. Double kill for Smek on this Zillion. 4 kills, 4-0-0, and that is the bounty as well.
Yeah, turns out utility mids are pretty strong, especially when you pair it with an aggressive jungler like the Echo. You end up finding 2 very quick picks. Transition that into a dragon take. We see yet another Mountain Rift this time around, but again, this Nasus later on already going to be daunting to try and deal with. You throw a Mountain Rift on top of him, sorry, a Mountain Soul on top of him, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, absolutely. And, doing a quick check of the inventories here, so to speak, we do have our first mythic items getting completed. Divine Sundra there for Squizzy. And off of those kills, yeah, you can see Smek does have...
Oh, my.
Yeah, the Everfrost completed. So you find that double stun, and you can just get the root off, or you can get the root off into a double stun. One way or another, it's a lot of CC.
Yeah, this item tends to be very strong on utility-based mid laners that have decent amounts of crowd control in the kit, so definitely like to see that. Gray might be caught here. Actually, no, Squizzy's just down.
Squizzy does get hit by the Wither, but it expires before Hyphen and Indian Frog can get any sort of meaningful damage down. But with that jungler appearing in the top lane, I Love Ali, taking that as a means to try to see if there's anything that he can steal away. Doesn't look like it though, but he is going to transition into the mid lane here. Biggest snowball ever doesn't actually find its way in. Smek gonna use that flash early, doesn't find the Everfrost root, and he is gonna survive, although, a little bit of miscoordination all around on that particular play.
Yeah, the biggest snowball ever clearing out the wave was a little less than ideal, I think. Gray already burning a flash, doesn't have cleanse.
Ooh.
Whoa.
As you said, had to burn the flash, no cleanse, but the TP has come in.
Good
Squizzy
flash.
is there, and he does dash forward, looks for the Cyclone. DM Looter uses the Glacial Fissure to interrupt any continued aggression, and Indian Frog has now arrived, throws the Wither down onto eye level Lee, and look at that Kane doing a fair chunk of damage, but he's a little bit separated, forced to flash defensively. Blaze is here. There is an Enchanted Crystal Arrow available, but they aren't
Snowball?
using it quite yet. Snowball does come in, and
Oh
it
my.
is going to be able to take Blaze out. TP getting channeled there now from Smek. He does come in, unable to save any of his teammates. There is the absolute zero. They are going to get the kill with that, and he does trade it back, or sorry, Blaze trades it back because of the tower damage. Smek finally using that chrono shift for himself, does
Oh.
find a nice double stun, but there is no help here. You have to walk it out because your jungler is pushing the top lane, does pop the Rift Herald, but that is a substantial team fight victory for the side of that pressure as they find 4 kills in the bottom lane.
Yeah, another very, very scattered fight. However, they end up losing a lot for it regardless. They're gonna lose the second tier turret. Let's see if this Rift Herald can even push for the 3rd charge. I don't think it will have it in it. Does end up getting taken down. But yeah, the fight does go in favor of that pressure for sure. But MECC, Hyven, just making sure that there's still gold getting traded back. They're still sitting 1,000 gold in the lead and still doing very, very well in this early to mid game.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, trades the gold back, and that's no small amount of gold. Hyphen does try to get aggressive here, doesn't find anything, no stun to be had. But yeah, ever since they buffed that side lane turret gold, it is just massive amounts of gold swing when somebody's able to just secure that solo, and you saw Hyphen got 600 gold just for that. See, the play does find its way onto the jungler of Madison Esports. Glacial Fissure goes wide, but the aggression continues. Solar Flare is going to get used. Enchanted Crystal Arrow means that that stun is gonna last for ages. TG Myth goes down. Dragon spawning in just under a minute here. Hyphen getting very, very aggressive. Will be forced to use the Chrono Break back. Indian Frog pushing there in the top lane. Squizzy also coming. Nice root from the Everfrost, and that is I Love Ali going down. Absolute Zero getting channeled. There's going to be massive damage. DM Looter getting very, very low. The Braum is able to stay alive. Squizzy pops the Cyclone, tries to get the kills, looking for more damage. Pops the... Oh, gosh, sorry. Pops the item from Blaze. Sorry, the Immortal Shield Bow. Ooh, completely blanked on it. But ends up dying for that aggression. And, you know, off of that, this might be an opportunity for the side of Madison Esports to look for Dragon, but biggest snowball ever here. Searching for Blaze. Will it find him? No.
No way.
And they just assume that he's out. They don't even look at the bushes.
This happened last game too. The Twitch in the alcove this time. It's an Ash in a bush. And Blaze, twice in this series now, just barely escaping any sort of kill. Granted, with all these resets coming out, this does open a window for that pressure to regain control around the Drake pit, potentially look for better vision coverage, look for a way to look for a fight. Granted, it's a little difficult. They won't have the Wukong teleport, so neither top laner should be here. Actually, looks like Echo's a little late to the play, so it should just go over. 2 HP scares me, but has been secured regardless.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like Smack trying to get a little bit aggressive, does find the Everfrost root into the stun. And yeah, that should be TG Myth going down, uses the Solar Flare, trying to dissuade continued aggression. But I Love Ali will be eating that Enchanted Crystal Arrow and into the double bomb once more. Double kill for Smek. And this Zillion is huge. 7-1 and 4. And you know, this is the moment where you're like, yeah, don't look at my CS numbers, guys. I'm carrying super hard.
I mean, yeah, for sure. But also, you look across the rift at your lane opponent, and you're like, I'm still out farming him. So.
Oh dear.
Oh, that snowball.
Yeah, I actually think Blaze might have dodged it out. DM Looter was very zealous in trying to defend his AD carry. Absolute Zero is going to get used there. Smek using his own ultimate to try to stay alive, but since it's ticking down, he has to flash out, and that means Squizzy will be using that Cyclone. Nice double bomb into the stun to stop up Gray for a little bit there. Cyclone is going to get used. Zenith Blade as well. TG Myth in the middle of the fight. Squizzy getting very, very low. And now that will be a kill. And another one too. Indian Frog finally joins the rest of his team here in the mid lane. And while it looked all evened up for a good bit there, Madison Esports, they're coming away with a significant lead. Roughly 7k here at 20 minutes. I love Ali and Gray in a bad spot. Both forced for the flash defensively, but Hyphen goes godlike under the tower. And oh dear, this is why you do not like playing against Nasus as an AD carry. Wither into Kane, and that's a kill. But Golem Guy Galaxy comes in, biggest snowball ever, able to nab up 1 kill in return. But yeah, I would say Madison Esports, they are very happy with the lead they've constructed for themselves.
Yeah, and it doesn't look... Well, okay, no. It is going to be over. I will say that fight started out just on what looked like frustration coming out from that pressure. They looked for the window onto the Zilean, and Squizzy trying to go forward, trying to wait out that ultimate, trying to make sure that the kill would be secured. Smemek just flashes away, is able to live, and... Oh my gosh, he's just so fast.
Yeah, I mean, you just speed yourself up as Zilean, and you just can't get caught.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, this Zilean is completely controlling the pace of the game, finding double bomb after double bomb.
Yeah, I mean, even after, though, that initial fight started, right? After we see the flash coming out from Zilean, it just seemed like there was frustration from the side of that pressure, going way too deep, way too far forward, getting punished for it, and MECC just taking that any day of the week, coming out so far ahead now. The gold was like 1,000 gold of a difference earlier on in this game, like 3-4 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden it's blossomed into a 7,500 lead in favor of MECC.
Yeah,
oh, that's unfortunate.
That's a fat finger as far as everything is concerned, but Smemek is not the focus of the enemy team. It's actually going to be Blaze. Glacial Fissure is going to get used, stops up Skiwi a little bit, or Squizzy rather, does find the stun, forces the flash out from Golem Guy Galaxy. TG Myth not long for the world as well, and now I Love Ali trying to run for the hills. Biggest snowball ever, doesn't really find anything, a few knockups, but now the Graves is getting very, very low, tries to dash away, and you will see the Zanyas get popped by the Echo, but Blaze is on a rampage, is able to secure that kill onto I Love Ali. And it just feels like absolute and utter domination from the side here, Madison Esports, as they go up to a 10k gold lead at 22 minutes.
Yeah, that pressure once again just overextending, overexerting themselves, and it might have actually just cost them the game, and as a result, the series.
Yeah, I mean, they are on those Nexus turrets. It looks like Golem Guy Galaxy coming up here in a few seconds. This has to be the go button. This has to be the stall. And it looks like that pressure, they're committing for it. They're trying for the kills. They're looking for a Blaze. Golem Guy Galaxy in the back line. But can he find anything? No, absolute zero. Kill after kill after kill. And I Love Ali, he's the last one alive. Oh, no, not quite yet. Squizzy is still there trying to stay alive, but it's just not enough. As that pressure, they will fall to Madison Esports Cottage Cheese. We look to go 2-0 in this series. Oh, there's the shutdown. Trying to stat pad a little, trying to style on him. We like that here at Style Esports. But that will be MECC going to a quick and solid 2-0 in this series and advancing towards that next round in the playoffs here in the Demacia bracket. This is not the end, though, for that pressure, although they did get 2-0'd here. They are now in the losers bracket. They have one more opportunity with the next rotation of games to keep their playoff hopes and aspirations alive. That being said, though, this was a pretty convincing game number 2 here. Madison Esports will continue their march in playoffs.
Yeah, just a very, very strong showing. Again, I think the big thing to take note of is MECC just playing it a little sloppy in the early games pretty frequently, and it did seem that that pressure was able to really go toe-to-toe with them early on. Once we got more into the mid game, once we got more towards the macro play, definitely felt like MECC was kind of kicked it back into gear, said, all right, we're taking back over the game. And when they're looking to face Rising Tide Typhoon in the next round of playoffs, I'm not sure that you really want to have some of these sloppy mistakes come out against what is the 1 seed in this division.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that front. I mean, like, uh, early game is super important at roughly every single bracket of competitive play, and it really does seem like MECC have a lot of things to work on. And that being said, so do that pressure after this series. That being said, it was a relatively exciting series to watch. But with all that being said and done, that rounds out our games this evening and for this week here at Style Esports. I hope everybody watching finds the opportunity to watch, or continue watching as we head into our next round of playoffs next week. And do you have any closing remarks, MXL?
Yeah, I think ultimately MECC definitely can come out of this with their heads held high. Quick 2-0 made it look definitely competitive either way. I think that pressure definitely also has a lot to look forward to coming from this set. So very well played from both teams. Very excited to see where they go further on in the playoffs.
Okay, and with that, our stream tonight should be wrapping up. I do find it incumbent on myself to, say thank you to you, MXL, for both doing color and for doing production tonight. And in addition to that, got a shout out that Style Esports does have a Patreon. So if all of you watching were entertained by our stream tonight, please feel free to, subscribe to our Patreon and help us make and produce better content week after week for all of you. But with that, I hope you all have a good night and farewell.